we are the Fudge is Far From Home.
Hi there, I'm Ray.
And I'm Kathleen. We're standing outside the Grand Hotel and we're just about to go on to the Ghostbus tour. So, picture of them in London and we're taking on the Avengers and we'll see all the sights. Here's the bus. You're just going to go upstairs. Oh, this is the bus.
I've not been on one of these buses.
Oh, this is so lovely. Where do you want to sit, Ray? At the front?
Well, why not sit at the front?
Yeah.
I don't remember the seats being quite laid out like this in the old days.
Oh, this is so cool.
Do you want to sit here? Or front?
Can you sit at the front?
Front.
This is...
Oh yeah, it's about as comfortable as I remember.
I mean, you can sit on that one if you want.
Well, we'll see how those turns out, but...
So we're on the Ghostbus tour. The last for...
Hour and a half,
basically. Like you said, there's not that many people. I wasn't turning around.
Nice and dark as you can see.
Not that many people in here tonight. So we're just waiting for the other customers to get on the board.
And away we go.
Yeah, we'll let you know at the end how much we paid for this. We've got a good deal on Wowcher. Got good reviews, so let's have a look.
It's a town tour.
Okay. Spooky ghost tour coming for you. I don't know where we're going.
Because anyone's wondering, we're heading that way. I'm not quite sure how they're going to they're going to crowbar ghost stories into this. I went to about 300 years ago, all this was farmers' fields. It's up in Tower of London, which is one of the last stops on our trip. And you get the stories that go on there, the twins in the tower. What happened to them, no one knows.
Is that everyone?
Scary stories of Dickensian in London, I suppose. I don't know, it'd be interesting to see. What do you reckon?
It'll be good fun.
You know, if you say the Ghostbusters...
It will. It'll be interesting. See some sights. At least we're not walking.
That is a change.
Yeah, so I was saying on the bus, this is all the original pavement. The panelling's been added on. Yeah, original.
Yeah.
Got the feeling. Quite good. Well, the way they've done the bus.
It's good.
Look how long done these buses.
About 30, 40 years.
You know, I'm only 40. That's actually
No, exactly.
It's really good.
And we're about to embark on a journey around London, taking insights of horror, murder, misery, execution, and of course, supernatural activity. But before we see any of that, I do have to run over the scariest thing of all, and that's the health and safety announcement. Please stay seated while the bus is moving. Please keep all your personal belongings with you at all times. And please don't touch the lamps, the tables, the bells, the curtains, the chairs, or each other. You can touch yourselves, though, that's absolutely fine. Now we do have some CCTV on board this bus to make sure everybody stays nice and safe. There's a camera down here. And we're about to come into Parliament Square, that's just in front of us. It's a bit like Parliament Circle, and it's got a few more corners. In front of us is going to be Westminster Abbey. Lots of famous people are buried in there. Charles Dickens, Chaucer, Darwin, Isaac Newton, to name but a few. It's also where we've had all of our royal coronations since the very first one, 1066, Christmas Day, of William the Conqueror. Yes. On the left-hand side, as we go through these traffic lights, is also going to be the Houses of Parliament,
I
which
know,
was nearly blown up by the Yorkshireman Guy Fawkes, or as he's known in Yorkshire, Guy Fawkes. I went to drama school, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. You'll also have a lovely view of the Elizabeth Tower, otherwise known as Big Ben. It's not actually called Big Ben, it's called the Elizabeth Tower. Okay? So if I see anybody pointing at it and going, look, there's Big Ben, I will shout at you. Okay. Now then, ladies and gents, while we stop at these traffic lights, can we please have a big round of applause for our driver, Boopin, this evening? He's celebrating tonight, actually. Yeah, he's just passed his provisional driver's license. Well done, Boopy. Yeah. He is celebrating. He's only had 7 pints. I'm sure he's absolutely fine. Nothing to worry about.
Good man.
He's professional. There it is. There's the Elizabeth Tower on the left-hand side. You might be able to see it. There we go. They nearly hung Guy Fawkes. No, they nearly hung Guy Fawkes was going to be hung, drawn, and quartered like everybody else, but he knew that this was going to happen to him, and he didn't really like the sound of it, to be honest. So what he did was, when the executioner put the noose around his neck, he turned round to sharpen up his axe, and Guy Fawkes jumped off the gallows, dying instantly. But then they cut down his corpse, and they hung, draw, and quartered him anyway, because we're British, and we're petty. Have it, Tom. There's another bus on the right. Have you got a roof? There we are. Very good. There was a man who scaled up the side of the Elizabeth Tower the other day. Was anybody in London for that?
Oh yeah.
A man climbed up Big Ben. Sorry?
Spider-Man?
What? Did somebody say something?
Maybe it was
Well, it is, yeah. I'm allowed to call it Big Ben. I'm allowed to call it Big Ben. Yeah. Because I'm British and I'm petty. We'll be getting through these traffic lights very soon. There's over 4,000 traffic lights in London. We're going to stop at each and every one of them just to give you the full London experience. Well, actually, we can't give you the full London experience. It's not raining. Over to the left-hand side, there is the Houses of Parliament and the Elizabeth Tower, otherwise known as Big Ben. Now, I do have a question for you. I think I might already know the answer to it, though. Do we have any Americans on board this evening? Yes. Hello. Good evening, sir. 2, 4, 6. They're multiplying. Welcome. Well, it's nice to have you on board. I'm about to show you a statue of one of your former presidents, Abraham Lincoln. The statue was a gift to us from the Americans. Thank you very much. It's just what we've always wanted. We'll take cash next time, though. Thanks a lot. You were so proud of this statue that they brought over a load of American soil in a big sack, so they could put the American soil down on the ground and put the statue on American soil. You thought the Brits were petty. That's pretty petty, isn't it? There he is, Abraham Lincoln, standing up from his chair just in front of us on the right there. Which brings us to our first ghost story of the evening, ladies and gents. Because the ghost of Abraham Lincoln was seen by our very own Winston Churchill while he was in the bath at the White House. There he was, all naked and soapy and vulnerable, and the ghost of Abraham Lincoln appeared before him. And Winston Churchill said, "Oh, Mr. President, you appear to have caught me at quite a disadvantage." At which Abraham Lincoln winked at him and disappeared. Absolutely terrifying. Can you imagine? Speaking of Winston Churchill, his ghost haunts number 10 Downing Street. It appears as a cloud of cigar smoke at times of national crisis. So as you can imagine, it's very smoky in there at the moment. We're going to drive past number 10 Downing Street in a moment. It's usually guarded by lots of police officers with machine guns, and I like to give them a wave and try and make their evening, cheer them up a bit. They hate me though, but they might like you, so give them a nice big wave to the police officers. On the left hand side, on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Wave at the nice police officers. Yeah. Woo! Cooey! No. See? They couldn't care less, ladies and gents. We're coming back into Trafalgar Square now, dedicated to Lord Admiral Nelson, our great Sea Admiral. He only had one eye, one arm, got seasick and couldn't swim, but by God could he win us a battle. Yes, he bloody well could. Yes. There's a statue of Nelson on top of Nelson's column. It's 17 feet tall. The man himself was only 5'6". So if you do the maths and you work it out, that's a ratio of about 3 to 1. Thank you very much.
That was
Thank you very much.
but I
It's the best joke on the tour.
That's worth
It's quite
coming
early on.
back.
It's all downhill from here.
Worth it. Wow.
Nelson died at the Battle of Trafalgar, and he was so loved by his fellow sailors that they wanted to bring him back to London and give him a nice big state funeral in St Paul's Cathedral, and that's exactly what they did do. Only trouble was they were 5 weeks away from London by boat when he died, so they had to find some way of preserving his body for the journey. So they stole a barrel of brandy from the French. We quite like stealing from the French, and then they put his body in the barrel, pickling him. Then they sailed back to London, took his body out, and had the big state funeral. There was only one weird thing about that whole scenario. When they got back to London, half the brandy was missing.
He drunk it.
Turns out some of the sailors had wanted to have one last drink with the Admiral. You could say it was very full-bodied brandy by that point. So they're half lion, half dog. Dions, really. Or logs, I suppose. But that's what you get, ladies and gents, when you work into a type dead lion. Type dead lion. Is this thing on? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? If they have to repeat the jokes, it takes all the fun out of it. Alright. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, get excited, because we're about to see our first murder spot of the evening! Yeah. It's going to be on the right hand side in Charing Cross Station, home to the 1920 truck murders. There used to be a little boy who worked in Charing Cross Station in the 1920s, and his job was to have all the rich people put their luggage on the train for a bit of pocket money. Happened on the right hand side here in Charing Cross Station. One day he noticed quite a strange smell coming from his trunks. By that I mean the luggage, not his underwear. So he looked inside the trunk, and inside the trunk was the body of a woman that had been cut up into 8 pieces, each wrapped in parcel paper. They managed to find the man who did that, because obviously it was a man who did that, and they discovered that, well, he told the police that he did it accidentally. Now I'm not sure about you lot, but I do that all the time. I'm always accidental. No, of course I don't. But they did find him, and then they had him accidentally hung then at Pentonville Prison. Over to the left-hand side, this is the Adelphi Theatre. We're in Theatreland now, ladies and gents. Currently showing Back to the Future, the musical, haunted by the ghost of William Terrace. He was an actor who was in a play at the Adelphi, and he was stabbed at stage door by a fellow actor in the same play as him. Have a look to the right-hand side. There's the Savoy Theatre and the Savoy Hotel as well. They're very superstitious in the Savoy. They don't like number 13 at all. There's no 13th bedroom, no 13th floor over any of their 7 floors. If you have a look to the left-hand side, this is the Lyceum Tavern, the pub with the big lanterns. That is where Bram Stoker, the man who wrote Dracula, lived for 27 years while he was the manager of the Lyceum Theatre, which is currently showing The Lion King. He's not the manager there anymore, he's dead. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is just the circle of life, isn't it? It's a Lion King joke, you weren't expecting that, were you? No, nor was I. There's the Lyceum Tavern there where Bram Stoker wrote Dracula. And keep looking down that street to the left and you'll see the Lyceum Theatre. That's also where Bob Marley recorded his live album in that theatre. Keep looking to the left and you will see down this next street the oldest and most haunted theatre in the UK, the Theatre Royal Drury Lane. Home to 8 ghosts in total, including the ghost of Dan Leno. He was an old pantomime dame. I say old because he kept working there until he was well into his 80s.
Bit of
By
Mamma
which
Mia.
point, unfortunately, he was quite incontinent. He used to wet himself on stage quite a lot. So what the stage team used to do is they would dip his trousers in lavender oil to mask the smell. Now, to this very day, if something goes wrong on stage at the Theatre Royal Drury Lane, the smell of lavender oil wafts through the backstage area. Just as it wafted through Dan Leno's backstage area many years ago. Spooky. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, I do have something that I would like to talk to you about. I want you all to know, okay, that we do read all of the comments that get put on TripAdvisor, okay, and I want you to know that we've seen all the complaints and that we're working on them, okay. That's all I wanted to say. Thanks. Obviously they're not mechanical complaints because the bus is absolutely fine, okay, and obviously they're not complaints about the tour guide either because I'm really good. They're more how do I put it? Spiritual complaints, I suppose. Sometimes on this bus, people complain during the tour they can feel fingers in their hair and breath on the back of their neck and that sort of thing. But I said we're working on it. We had some parapsychologists come aboard the bus this morning, and they ran a series of tests. And well, the bus did fail every single one of those. But nothing untoward has happened on this bus since Thursday, so I'm sure we're absolutely fine. Hang on, what day is it today? What day is it today?
Friday.
Anybody know? Is it Friday? Oh. I meant to say nothing's happened since yesterday, that's what I meant to say. We're now on Fleet Street, ladies and gentlemen. Which are any Johnny Depp fans among you? No, didn't think so. Well, no, it's the home to the demon barber Sweeney Todd. Let me tell you all a little bit about him, because it's my job. So, Sweeney Todd used to have a barber shop on this street. He would give you a nice shave, a haircut if you asked nicely. He'd also slit your throat from ear to ear, pull a nice convenient lever by his chair, and you would go down a chute into his basement. There he would cut you up into nice bite-sized pieces, and you would be baked into a meat pie and sold to the people of London. Apparently, Sweeney Todd's barbershop was on the left-hand side here in this building that is now an art gallery just after all this scaffolding. It says Dundee Courier at the top. Yes, it's a nice story, isn't it? And it is just that, ladies and gents. It is just a story. It didn't actually happen. It's from something called a penny dreadful. It is basically an old Victorian cartoon that you could buy for a penny, and was usually about something pretty dreadful, like a barber turning people into pies. Yes. Now, ladies and gents, get excited again, because I'm about to show you not one, not three, but 2 sites of public execution. Yes. Woo. Before we see that though, I do have to show you another statue of another man on another horse. This time it's going to be Prince Albert. He was Queen Victoria's husband before he tragically passed away very young at the age of 42 from typhoid fever. Now, Queen Victoria was so devastated when this happened that she actually disappeared from the public eye for 8 years. And when she came back again, she only ever wore black for the rest of her life, and she didn't engage anybody in conversation. She would just sort of mumble. I suppose you could say she was the world's first goth, couldn't you? Thinking about it. Yeah. He's going to be on the left-hand side very moment, Prince Albert on his horse. The horse is called Nimrod, if anybody's interested in horses. Queen Victoria is also the reason why all the street lights, all the posts, and all the taxis in London are black. She ordered them to be painted black after Prince Albert died, and they've never gone back. Before then, all the taxis in London were purple. We're about to drive down this street now towards the Old Bailey, or what used to be the site of Newgate Prison, the last spot in London that you could be publicly executed. Yes. We're about to drive over a spot where literally thousands and thousands of people have been hung to death. All the taxi drivers say that as you drive over this spot, you can feel a slight tightening around your neck. Sometimes I like to go over 3 or 4 times, just to get the full effect, you know. Yes. Straight down here, you'll see some street lights at the end of this street, and that is the very spot where the Newgate Gallows once stood. Yes. Before you were executed at Newgate Gallows, you would have to walk down this road to your doom, which is quite a nerve-wracking prospect, I think you'll agree. So you'd be given a drink to calm your nerves, and that's where the phrase "one for the road" comes from. Yeah. There'll be a whole entourage of people that would join you, and they'd all get a drink as well, apart from the man that would drive the wagon that would carry your corpse off, in case he fell off the wagon, and that's where the phrase "falling off the wagon" comes from. See, I'm not just a pretty face, I'm full of facts, ladies and gents. Have a look to the left-hand side, that's Newgate Church. The execution bell used to be kept there. Every morning before an execution, the priest would come out and ring it to give people time to go and buy their meal deals from Tesco's and that sort of thing. Now in front of us, I did promise you 2 sites of public execution. 2 is what you're going to get. In front of us is going to be Smithfields, and this is where bloody Queen Mary burned all of her heretics at the stake. It's also where William Wallace, aka Braveheart, aka Mel Gibson, was executed. He, of course, was killed for crimes to acting. Sorry, his accent. Sorry, his activism. I always get those 2 confused. Also in front of us, this is where lots of witches have been tried over the years. Back in the day, if you were a woman and you could read, everybody thought you were a witch. basically. So what happened was they would get a nice big copper cauldron and they'd fill it with cooking oil. You would then be placed inside the cauldron and you would be boiled alive in it. Now, if you died while that was going on, and as you can imagine, most people did die, then the good news was you weren't a witch, but you were dead. Now, if you did survive that process, and amazingly, some women did survive being boiled alive, then the bad news was you were a witch and they killed you anyway. That, ladies and gentlemen, is just the British justice system, isn't it? You can't knock it, really. Have a look to the left-hand side. This is St Bartholomew's Hospital, and it's very special because it's actually the oldest hospital in the world on the left-hand side. It opened in the 1300s. It's so old that King Henry VIII's jester was admitted to that hospital when he had malaria. Is it? Very good, very interesting. Yeah, so St Henry VIII's jester went there. They managed to cure him when he had malaria and he went back to work. Only trouble was he wasn't very funny after that. No, he was malarious. Very good. It's such an old hospital that obviously it's haunted by quite a few ghosts, including the ghost of the Grey Nurse. Let me tell you about her. Back in the 1800s, there was a nurse who used to work in that hospital, and she'd had a very long shift. Unfortunately, she made a terrible mistake. She accidentally gave one of her patients a fatal overdose. So fatal, in fact, that the patient died. Now, she was so devastated that this happened that she actually committed suicide there on the ward in front of all of her patients and all of her colleagues as well. Now, to this day, if there's a nurse in that hospital who's had a very long shift and they might be about to make a similar mistake, apparently they can feel a cold hand on their shoulder warning them not to do it. Spooky. Be a waitress who worked in that pub. She went down to change the barrel one night. Suddenly the door slammed behind her, all the lights went off, and all the beer barrels started rattling in their holders like this. She doesn't work there anymore. She works in Wetherspoons now. Less spirits in there apparently. It's very good. Can't knock it, can you? Apparently, if you go up to the bar in the Violet Tavern and you ask them very nicely, go, "Oh, please, sir, can I look at your prison cells?" Like that. Or to drama school at the time. Then apparently, if they're in a nice mood, they'll let you down and have a look. Very good. So
Have to try that.
Traffic lights, I think, this is
Ja, vad?
coming up to 30 something.
Jag har försvunnit på det för
It's a long night to get through all four
Jag
times.
remember it.
There is the Viaduct Tavern on the left-hand side. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would
Yes.
like to show you something very
I
beautiful
remember the
again.
one.
Not the
Yeah.
next one,
Vaguely.
something else. This time it's going to be on the left-hand side. It's going to be Greyfriars Church, and it was recently redecorated for us, actually. Yes, by the German Air Force in the 1940s. That's going to be on the left-hand side in just a moment. Greyfriars Church. Now, there is a murderer buried in Greyfriars Church, and I'd be more than happy to tell you the story of what happened, but I warn you, it's absolutely disgusting. So I have to ask for your consent
Full of
beforehand.
giraffes.
Would you like to hear the story?
Yeah.
You're all
Yeah.
sick. Okay, I'll tell you. So, her name is Queen Isabella, and she murdered her husband, the king. Now, she didn't want to leave a mark on his body. She was nice like that. So what she did was she had him pinned to a mattress while he was asleep. She then got a large animal horn and had it covered in goose fat. She then inserted that animal horn into the king. How do I put this? Up his bum, basically. She then got a red hot iron poker and she put that up his bum too. That then fused one of his wibbly wobbly bits on the inside. She gave it a little twist and a sharp tug like that, thus disemboweling the king through his anus. Yes. A pain one can only imagine is a bit like the night after a Vindaloo. We've all been there, haven't we? Yeah. It's completely true, completely disgusting. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in a moment you're going to have a lovely view of St Paul's Cathedral, but before that, oh hang on, madam, I did say, something like this always happens, I'm really sorry guys. I did say, didn't I, could you please stay seated while the bus is moving, and if you could put your shoes back on as well, that would be really great as well. You could put your shoes back on, madam. How did you get your shoes back on so quickly? Were you not just stood at the top of the stairs, just then? You weren't. Are you sure? Was she? No? Are you sure? I could have sworn I just saw someone standing at the top of those stairs and it wasn't you.
It was me.
I'm very sorry, madam. I didn't mean to accuse you of anything. You're sure? Okay. Great. I think I might know what might be going on, ladies and gents. You know, I said that we had some parapsychologists come aboard the bus this morning. They found a lot of supernatural activity on this staircase here. I think I know why. You know, I said right at the start that back in the day we used to use this bus for funerals, right? Well, there was this one lovely old lady called Rose, and she used to come on board the bus for all the funerals. I think she liked the leather seats and the velvet curtains and a bit of company, you know. One day we were doing a very big funeral on board the bus, and Rose gets on as usual. And understandably, this family didn't want this random old lady at their loved one's funeral, mainly because she stank of mayonnaise. So they asked us if we'd remove her from the bus, and she point blank refused to get off. So in the end, cut a long story short, we had to forcibly remove her from the bus. We had to drag her down these stairs. She was screaming the whole way, and it wasn't pretty. That was the last we saw of her, but apparently she got admitted to a mental institute after that for a few months. But she escaped, and well, we actually found her body on these stairs the night of the fire at the bus depot. You know, I said all the buses were destroyed apart from this one. I think she must have broken into the bus depot looking for a place to sleep, got on board the bus, and then started the fire somehow. She must have breathed in all the smoke and suffocated. But I probably should have told you that right at the start, shouldn't I? I probably should have opened with that. Yeah, I'm very sorry, madam. I didn't mean to accuse you of anything. And as I said, nothing untoward has happened since yesterday, so I'm sure you're absolutely fine. Cool. Speaking of fires, can I tell you all a little bit about the Great Fire of London? Yeah? Great, 'cause I've got a PowerPoint presentation prepared. Give me a second. Give me a minute. Oh. Yeah, sorry guys, I should have opened with that, shouldn't I? Very good. Okay, have a look at your screens, and I will tell you all a little bit about the Great Fire of London. So it started in Thomas Fowler's baker's shop on Pudding Lane. Here it is. There's some pictures for you, lovely. I drew that myself, do you like it? On Pudding Lane. The fire raged for 5 days and for 5 nights. After an hour, the whole of Pudding Lane was destroyed. After 5 days and 5 nights, 85% of London was completely decimated. Guildhall, gone. St Paul's Cathedral, gone. Every single Pret-a-Manger, gone. Bank Underground Station is actually the most haunted underground station on the Tube network, because it was built on the top of a church crypt, and nobody took any of the bodies out beforehand. It's just asking for trouble, if you ask me. So apparently lots of people have seen ghostly reflections in the ticket machine while they're topping up their Oyster card. Keep an eye out as we're driving past for any ghosties. Anybody see anything? Absolutely terrifying, look at that. Can't imagine anything worse, can you? Very good. Minor delays on the central line, according to the speaker. No, we'll be going past the monument to the Great Fire of London very soon. As I mentioned in the little TED talk, you might have heard that the St Paul's Cathedral burnt down in the Great Fire of London. Now you might be thinking, but it's made of stone, how did that happen? Well, that's what all the people who lived in London thought at the time as well. So they put all their wooden furniture and paperwork and books inside St Paul's Cathedral, and that all pretty much caught fire immediately. And then it got so hot inside St Paul's Cathedral that all the iron that held the stone together melted, ran down the street like a river, and the whole thing collapsed like a Jenga tower. Yes. It was then rebuilt by Sir Christopher Wren, the same man who built the monument to the Great Fire of London. He's actually got a tomb inside St Paul's Cathedral, along with Nelson, who I spoke about a bit earlier. Nelson's got a great big elaborate tomb. Sir Christopher Wren just has a single plaque on the floor that reads, "Traveller, if you seek my tomb, look all around you." Which is pretty gangster, isn't it? He's made St Paul's Cathedral his own tomb, that's pretty cool. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to see the monument to the Great Fire of London. It's going to be on the left-hand side, so be prepared. I'm going to give us a nice clear countdown, because it's going to be quite brief. Here we go. The monument is on the left-hand side in 3, 2, 1. Here it is, the monument to the Great Fire of London.
Wow.
And it's gone. I told you it was quick, didn't I? We're about to drive over London Bridge, which, as you might have heard from all the rumours, keeps falling down.
Wow.
Other than that, it's not very interesting. What's more interesting is the bridge on the left-hand side, Tower Bridge. It's It's a very iconic view of London. You're in for a treat. Here it is on the left-hand side. There's actually a morgue on Tower Bridge. Back in the day, about 25 bodies a month would wash up in the River Thames, and they would go into the morgue on Tower
Does
Bridge.
look lovely.
It used to be called Dead Man's Hole. It's still there. It's got a different name now, though. Cafe Nero. Have a little look behind Tower Bridge, and you will see the Tower of London itself. Now, lots of people have been executed in the Tower of London over the years, including Anne Boleyn, one of King Henry VIII's wives. She was ordered to be executed because King Henry thought she was having an affair with her own brother. Someone else that was executed in the Tower of London is the Countess of Salisbury. This is my favourite story on this whole tour. She was 75 years old when she was sentenced to be beheaded at the Tower, and she
another
point
nice
blank
pub over there.
refused to put her head down on the
Another nice
block.
pub over there.
So, what the executioner
Borough.
had to
You like
do
that pub,
was
don't
chase her around with his axe
You like a borough, to be
for
fair.
45 minutes while he hacked at her occasionally until she eventually collapsed to the floor. Yes. Fair play to her, I say. Don't let the man get you down. Yeah. Keep on running. Yes, that's the Countess of Salisbury. Now, in a moment, we're going to be
Why
driving
is
over
this man
Southwark
down there
Bridge, ladies and
dancing?
gents. So we're
I
going to have
don't
Welcome to London.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I don't know
happens
what he's
sometimes,
doing.
ladies and gentlemen, is the speakers
weird
in
bit
the
of
bus
ballet.
connect to the police radios as they drive around, so that's all you can hear. Just says a couple of police officers that breathe into their microphones quite a lot. Nothing to worry about. I don't think.
Right.
Oh,
Welcome to London. You see some madness.
It's a good way to see London, though.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, that's breathing.
Bit of Borough High
Market,
Street.
just over there.
Yes,
Yeah.
breathe. Breathe it, Kenny.
Does anybody know any religious scripture? Does anybody bring any holy water with them? I'll tell you what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to turn the speakers off. Yeah. I'm just going to turn the speakers off. Out of sight, out of mind, right? Nothing going on, nothing to worry about. Everything's fine. Cool. As I was saying, we're about to drive over Southwark Bridge. Now, Southwark Bridge is actually the least congested bridge in London, so we should be able to sail right over it. You're also going to get a lovely view of St Paul's Cathedral on the left-hand side as we're going over. But there's something else that I'd like to show you before we get to Southwark
on the
Bridge.
right
Now, Southwark Bridge is...
Set on the
Yeah.
right side.
Drama school. Yes. Drama school.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Got something stuck in my throat there for a second. Southwark Bridge is going to be coming up on the left. Oh, Eiffel Tower. Oh God. Oh God.
Bye. Where's his hat go?
Okay. Where's my hat gone? Yeah, don't worry about me, everyone. I'm absolutely fine.
Yay.
You all just sat there while that was going on. Thanks for your help.
You're welcome.
It's nice to know who your friends are, isn't it? That's what I'm saying. I'm going to be honest, ladies and gents. I think I might have just been possessed a little bit then. Just a little bit. Which
Suppose
probably
just over
means
there.
that I should come clean with you again, doesn't it? I haven't told you the full story. You know I said that we found Rose's body on the stairs, that she died from breathing in all the smoke from the fire? Well, that's not what happened, actually. She was actually murdered by a man called Jack Stapleton. You might have heard of him. He's otherwise known as the public transport murderer. You like killing people on modes of public transport. He'd already killed someone on a plane and on a boat and on a scooter. but he hadn't killed anybody on a bus yet. So the night of the fire at the bus depot, he saw Rose getting on board the bus, looking for a place to sleep, and he thought, oh, I'll have her. So what he did was he followed her on board the bus, and he strangled her to death. Yeah, it's not nice. Now, he was quite a cocky man, was Jack Stapleton, so he lit himself a nice big cigar to celebrate another murder well done, you know. And as he was getting off the bus, some of the ash from that cigar landed in a puddle of petrol on the floor, and the whole bus depot caught fire. He tried to escape, but he locked the door to make sure nobody followed him in, and he couldn't get it open again. So Rose was on the stairs, and we found Jack's body down here. His head was about here, and his legs were over there. He's quite a tall man. But I've come completely clean with you now, okay? That's everything. Right, I've got nothing else to tell you. And once again, thank you very much for your help in that medical emergency that I just had. And then that's right, you all just laughed and sat there, didn't you?
Yeah.
Where are we? I've got a tour to be doing. We're in Blackfriars now, Blackfriars. Blackfriars is so cool because there used to be lots of friars who lived here and they all wore black. That's it. In Whitefriars, they all wore white. In Greyfriars, they all wore grey. And in Pinkfriars, they all ran around naked. There also used to be a hat factory here in Blackfriars called Blackfriars Hat Factory. And weirdly, all the people who made the hats went crazy at exactly the same time. How odd. Well, it turns out that the glue that they were using to make the hats was chock-a-block full of mercury, and they all got mercury poisoning. Now, who got a hold of this but the newspapers again? And they ran the headline, The Mad Hatters of Blackfriars. Who was reading this but Lewis Carroll while he was writing Alice in Wonderland, and that's where the character of the Mad Hatter comes from. Yes, very interesting. Now if you have a look to the left-hand side, ladies and gents, you will see the River Thames. For anybody that's new to London, that'll be the big, long, wobbly, wet thing. That's on the left-hand side. It used to be called the Big Stink because all of London's sewage used to be thrown in there, and you could smell it from 20 miles away. That was until a very nice man by the name of Joseph Bazalgette came along, and he helped us to build London's sewage system. In fact, underneath this road, there's a sewer pipe that's so big we could drive this double-decker bus down it.
Yeah.
But we had to stop doing that on the tour. We were getting too many complaints. These floors used to be white.
London Eye looks good.
Interestingly, one of Joseph Bazalgette's descendants is now a TV producer who was responsible for bringing Big Brother to our screens. Yeah. It's nice to know that shit still runs in the family, isn't it? Have a look to the left-hand side. You will see a big concrete building. That's green and yellow. That's the National Theatre, often voted to be the ugliest building in London. Our current king, King Charles, he agrees. He says that the nicest view in London is from the top of the National Theatre, because then you don't have to look at the National Theatre. Also there's the London Eye, London's big pink ring. There it is. You know, you can get married on top of the London Eye. Yeah, you get on at the bottom with a priest or a rabbi in your wedding congregation, and then they take you to the top, and you do the wedding ceremony, and then it's all downhill from there, isn't it? It's good. I like that one. Now we're about to go underneath Waterloo Bridge, ladies and gents, sometimes called the Ladies' Bridge because it was built mainly by women during World War II while all the men were away fighting. It's also the only bridge in London to be built on time and under budget. That's not a joke, it's just a fact. Yes. Now, ladies and gents, I feel like I need to address the elephant on the bus, and that's the fact that I was just possessed by some sort of demon, and it seems like none of you care less. So what you can do is you can help me out. We're going to rid this bus of all the evil spirits once and for all. We're going to hold a little seance. Okay? Has anybody done a seance before?
Light candles.
No?
Or something.
Well, I've seen 2 episodes of Most Haunted, so I think I know what to do. So, first things first, apparently the guy in Most Haunted said we need to create the right atmosphere. So can you all please close all the curtains on the bus? Downstairs as well, close the curtains, please. Thank you very much. Now, the next thing that we need to do is create a nice little soundscape to attract all the ghosts. So can we all practice humming on the count of 3, please? Ready? 1, 2, 3. A bit louder. Like a choir of angels. Okay, good something. Thank you. Okay, next thing we need to do is create some vibration. So can we all try humming and stamping our feet at the same time as well? Off you go, 1, 2, 3. Perfect, thank you. I'll do. Great. You all look completely normal, not stupid at all. Now, apparently, the last key ingredient of any good seance is a bit of physical intimacy.
No thanks.
So if you could please hold the hand of somebody that you came with. If you didn't come with anybody, you can just put your hand in front of your face like that, so if you don't mind. Yeah, okay. So we can see who the sad people are, yeah. Okay. I'm only joking, obviously. I know your face like that. Great, okay. So on the count of three, humming, stamping feet, hand over face. Here we go, ready? 1, 2, 3, off you go. Okay. The ghost is sending me some sort of message, I believe, ladies and gents. Apparently, we've got quite a few birthdays on the bus this evening. Freddie, is there a Freddie on board? Yay! Is it your birthday, Freddie? Soon? Yes, that's a thumbs up, very good. We've got a couple more birthdays, I believe, downstairs. Whose birthday is it downstairs? Andrew and Freddie. So the ghosts want us to sing happy birthday to Andrew and Freddie. Okay, on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Andrew and Freddie. Happy birthday to you. The ghost loved that. Okay, I was only joking, the ghost didn't tell me to do that, that'd be really weird. Someone told me to do it before. Okay, so, we need to try one more time, because I can't see any ghosts anyway. So on the count of 3, humming, holding hands and stamping feet, please. 1, 2, 3, off you go. Ghosts on board along the ghost tour bus. If you can hear me, please make yourself known, thank you very much. Okay, everybody stop. Can anybody see any ghosts anywhere? No, let me just run through the CCTV cameras super quick, because you never know, there might be someone with CCTV somewhere. You can stop holding hands now, if you like. Okay, so there's no ghost down here with me. Okay, there's no ghost on the stairs either. No ghost downstairs that I could see. How about upstairs? Oh my god! Oh no, sorry sir, that's just you. Let me also check the floor cam, because you never know, there could be a ghost lying on the floor. So let me have a little look. So there's no ghost there. Let me check the other one. No ghost there either. Let me check the other one quickly. Oh.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, don't look at that.
Hello.
Yeah, that's nothing to worry about. How do I turn it off? No, that's just Kevin. He cleans the floors. He's on the payroll. Not to worry about. Okay, I don't think we were humming loud enough, so I'm going to try one more time. This time we're going to hum even louder. And please be careful with your stamping. I don't.
Fair enough.
So we just got off the Ghostbusters tour. Sounds like Ghostbusters, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Yeah, so we just got off that bus, had a ghost tour all around London.
Different view of London. It was good to see from a different perspective. Top of an old school Route Master bus. Been a while since I've been on one of them.
That was good. So we got the tickets on Wowcher, which was £25 for both of us.
Half price compared to what it is booking direct. So yeah,
so if you go onto their website, it's £25 each, and that lasted just over an hour.
About all you need.
Yeah, it was good. A little bit cramped on the seats, but
a little bit, yeah.
It was good. So we're going to end the vlog there.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Hope you enjoyed it. And if you are liking our videos, please hit the like and subscribe button, because it really does help us. And keep you posted for more videos.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.